Oh, dear God.
As the highest paid actor in Hollywood, there's no doubt that people are smelling what Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is cooking, especially after he managed to secure himself a spot within the Fast and the Furious franchise. And with a smile that seems to go on for miles, as well as comedic timing that flows seamlessly, it's no wonder he has become so incredibly popular. But what do we actually know about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? And what would experts estimate his net worth to be nowadays anyway? Well, whether you're a fan of the gentle giant or just want to know more about the lifestyle he lives, you've come to the right place, as we're about to explore everything there is to know about the man behind the smolder. So strap yourselves in and get ready for an intriguing ride, as things are about to get interesting. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the new videos we post. A little more about The Rock. Dwayne Douglas Johnson, as he is formerly known, was born in Hayward, California on the 2nd of May, 1972, making him only 48 years old at the moment. His father, former professional wrestler Rocky Johnson, was in a loving relationship with his mother, Ada Johnson, at the time, and shortly after his birth, the family decided to move over to Grey Lynn in New Zealand, which was closer to his mother's family. It was here where Johnson attended Richmond Road Primary School and played rugby before returning to the United States. Because the family traveled around quite a bit, Johnson found it difficult to make friends at school, with him going on to attend Montclair Elementary School in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then Shepherd Glen Elementary School and Hamden Middle School in Hamden, Connecticut. His high school years were then split between various schools in areas ranging from Honolulu, Hawaii to Nashville, Tennessee. The constant change was far from the best thing for our young star, who by the age of 17 had already been arrested multiple times for fighting, theft, and check fraud. When it came to sports, he also succeeded in a number of different types, joining his high school's gridiron football, wrestling, and track and field teams. After discovering the joy of sport, Johnson overcame the need to commit crime, which was in his opinion a cry for help as a result of him being bullied at school. And while it might be hard to imagine a guy like The Rock being bullied, it was a different time back then. Since his father was a black Nova Scotian and his mother was Samoan, the other kids saw him as a target because of how different he looked. It's a good thing that he stumbled upon wrestling and gridiron football for a whole other reason, which had more to do with his future prospects than anything else. In fact, Johnson was an incredible defensive tackle who ended up receiving a few offers from Division I collegiate programs. He ended up accepting a full scholarship from the University of Miami, where he played for the Miami Hurricanes national championship team back in 1991. He started only one game in the 4 years he was present, playing behind Hall of Famer Warren Sapp. After graduating in 1995 with a Bachelor of General Studies in Criminology and Physiology, he signed with the Calgary Stampeders, where he fulfilled his role as a linebacker in the Canadian Football League. After being cut from the Stampeders after 2 months on the squad, Johnson decided to try his hand at the professional wrestling circuit, having experienced the art of wrestling back in school. Under veteran wrestler Pat Patterson, Johnson performed at several tryout matches for the World Wrestling Federation. After wrestling under his own name and then Flex Kavana, Johnson signed a contract with the WWF, which resulted in him receiving training from the likes of Tom Pritchard and Akeem Albrecht. He then went on to make his debut as Rocky Maivia, which was a combination of his father and grandfather's names. Pushed as one of the first third-generation wrestlers in WWF history, Johnson was given quite a bit of airtime, regardless of his inexperience. It was only in August of 1997 that he started to speak about himself in the third person, taking on the moniker of The Rock. He had found his place in the WWF as the bad boy who regularly trash-talked the audience, organization, and other fighters, which is something that the WWF had never actually seen before. It was in the early 2000s that The Rock started to make his crossover into the realm of television, first appearing in Wyclef Jean's music video for It Doesn't Matter, and then taking on a small role in That 70s Show alongside his father, Rocky Johnson. He even went on to play an alien wrestler in Star Trek Voyager, who had studied and knew all of The Rock's moves. After being listed as one of Entertainment Weekly's 101 most influential people in both 2000 and 2001, 2001, he made the decision to work on movies. He made his first motion picture debut with The Scorpion King, which netted him $5.5 million and resulted in him being named by Guinness World Records as the highest paid actor for a first leading role. The Rock went on to build on this fame and fortune he had already amassed, becoming one of the greatest actors of our generation. The Rock's net worth. The Rock has come a long way from his humble beginnings, after becoming an icon on the professional wrestling scene and then using this charisma of his to propel himself into some of the greatest acting roles of all time. There's no doubt that there's definitely something special about Johnson. And since he is so loved across the globe, brands have been doing their best to secure him as a spokesperson, throwing more money than you could ever imagine into his lap. In fact, all things considered, experts estimate his net worth to be around $320 million at the moment, which makes The Rock one of the wealthiest celebrities in the world. But what does someone like The Rock spend his money on at the end of the day? Well, let's go ahead and find out for ourselves. Number 1. He's a philanthropist of note. As we mentioned earlier, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson experienced some terrible bullying when he was in school, and knows just how it feels to be down in the dumps. He's also more than aware of how it feels to not be born with a silver spoon in his mouth, having come from pretty humble beginnings. And it's probably for this reason that The Rock finds himself with a heavy heart sometimes, using his vast wealth to help those who are most in need around the globe. Some of his charitable donations over the years have been aimed at the Red Cross, the Rush Philanthropic Arts Foundation, the I Have a Dream Foundation, the Kids Wish Network, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation, just to name a few. Johnson has also established his own charity known as the Rock Foundation, which aims to help children with illnesses, disabilities, and disorders discover their strengths and motivate them to be the best that they can be. The Rock has changed a great number of lives because of the amount of money he has given back to those who need it most, which is probably a big reason behind why he is one of the most loved actors of our generation. Number 2. He loves to invest. Fans of The Rock are also well aware that he is also busy making plans. In fact, it appears as if the guy is similar to a shark in that he can't stop moving. Rather than watching his wealth decrease with the various expenses that he has become quite fluent in the art of investing. When he was much younger, he actually ended up investing everything he had into the creation of his own production company. Luckily for him, this investment saw an insane amount of dividends. He has also solidly invested in both himself and his own body, using it to create and sell his very own brand of workout gear that fans pay an exorbitant amount of money to own. This type of investment required a lot more than money, with The Rock spending a crazy amount of his own time in the gym to keep up appearances. Considering that he is even bigger now than he was during his wrestling days, we'd say he's doing a pretty good job. Number 3. His car collection. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson also loves to spend his hard-earned cash on assets which have unfortunately been known to depreciate in value each and every year that they exist. We, of course, are talking about his elegant car collection, which shows precisely why he was so interested in securing a role in the Fast and the Furious franchise. His garage houses a Ford F-150 as well as a bright blue Hennessy Raptor, which cost him an astounding $150,000 to buy new. He also shelled out around $1.2 million when purchasing his very own Pagani Wire sports car, which he used as a bit of a statement, rocking up in style to the premiere of his show Ballers. The Rock also owns a $340,000 Rolls-Royce Wraith and came close to purchasing a red Ferrari for around $950,000, but found that he was unable to fit his large frame into the small Italian sports car. The Rock has a number of options available when it comes to traveling from A to B, each one being more stylish than the next. What do you think of his incredible story and lifestyle? Be sure to let us know in the comments section down below.